Are there any Shadow Warrior fans within the audience? Have you guys played the first two games? The main character, Lo Wang, he's very charismatic, makes you laugh. But then you play Shadow Warrior 3, and the main character has a completely different voice, completely different attitude. Most of the jokes don't land, and you wonder what happened. Why is this a thing? And you look behind the scenes, and what you find out is that because people on Twitter, some fringe weirdos, were complaining about cultural appropriation because the character in the game is Asian, but the voice actor wasn't, the game company completely recasted the character. Well, now I'm glad that the people on the Twitter are happy. I'm really glad. I mean, these companies, they're making these people just as important as their shareholders. You know, like, how can you make a game without people on Twitter being happy? That's the most important part. Like, those are the core audience. That's where the modern audience is at, on Twitter, among with the bots. In an age where it's okay if Ariel is black, heaven forbid you cast a person that's not Japanese to voice a Japanese actor, because you appropriate the entire Japanese culture. A gaming company now owns the Japanese culture because it appropriated it. So that was like one thing that upset me, and because of that, with that mindset, I'm even more upset when I realized that the new Street Fighter 6, a game that I'm a huge fan of, I streamed it a lot of times, is going to recast the voice of Ken Masters. Now, it's okay, you know, like, if you recast someone because the actor is old or they can't play anymore or whatever, but this guy who was voicing Ken Masters was the same person since 2008. And now he's being recasted. The reason for it is problematic tweets, chat. Like, I want you to put aside all of the culture warrior thing. I want you to just analyze this problem for what it is. Alright? A corporation doesn't give a shit whether or not this guy is a good voice actor. Doesn't give a shit of whether or not the fans like him. No, what they care is how he thinks. They are literally thought policing their employees like a corporation. When you sign up for an American company or a Japanese company, which Capcom I think it is, when you sign up for these companies, they own your fucking soul, chat. They own your mind. And this is what the modern left stands for. This is what they think it's okay. It's okay when you sign a business contract to do a voice acting job, that the company now has a right to stalk you on social media, and if you don't think what they want you to think, they can fire you. And this is the correct way of thinking. This is the culture that the modern left wants to build from now on and into the future, right? So your children should also abide by the same rules. Like, when they join a company, they should have the correct thoughts and the correct opinions, because otherwise they should get fired. Like, this is the type of society that is now being built. I hope they change the constitution one day to give more power to the corporation. You know what? Why not just skip a step and only allow corporations the right to vote? Just take away the right to vote from individuals, because their opinion shouldn't matter anyway, right? Like, they can't work anywhere unless they have the correct mindset. So just take away the rights, give them all to the corporations. It would be a much more simpler system, wouldn't it? So, it gets even more annoying when you realize what this person did. They supported Gina Carano, right? Like Walt Disney, the mouse. Haha! Oh, they want powerful women. Oh, they want to empower women. They want women in position of power. And when they have a woman which speaks something that they disagree with, what do? They fire her. Oh, this woman had a little bit too much to think. This woman was a little bit too independent. Like, we want women as long as they pirate the mouse. Haha! As long as they say what Disney wants to say, as long as they become like a sock puppet with a mouse hands up there to then it's fine. Then it's perfectly fine. But if a woman says anything else that the corporation doesn't like, oh, then they get fired. So, the voice of Ken Masters, strike number 1, supporting Gina Carano. Strike number 2, he was against lockdowns. Strike number 3, he was against mandates. And strike number 4, and I think this is the worst of all, that literally was the end of it, he was pro-Republican. I wonder how the conversation went. You know, like the corporation went like, look, I understand you're a great voice actor, but here at Capcom, we are trying to indoctrinate the gamers into our way of thinking. How can we do that if you think that lockdowns aren't a good thing? How can we get gamers to think that keeping people locked in their homes away from their businesses is desirable if our own staff doesn't think this way? What is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? How can you post this on Twitter? How can you go to your keyboard and do the clickety-clack and post it on Twitter? I don't care if you're a good voice actor, okay? This is not about it. Like, we don't care what you actually do for work. What we care is how you think. And this is probably like the modern way of progressive America, right? Like, what you think is more important than what you fucking do. And we get to see this in almost all of entertainment. This is why entertainment is shit nowadays, right? They hire the people with the correct thoughts, the correct wave patterns, but they don't care about how good they are at their job. I mean, sure, you know, this writer can't write for shit. But you know what? Like, he's got the correct mindset. He thinks correctly. He thinks people should be locked up. How can you not hire such a person? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.